Alright, so we're into another video, and this time we're going to talk about one card that we've been talking about, or at least I have and Joel has, for a while. And I finally, after Joel convinced me to buy it a couple weeks ago, I finally went ahead and did it, and just so I can play my own deck and his deck and my version of his deck, etc, etc. So long story short, Demigra, the secret rare from Colossal Warfare Set 4, has doubled in price in the last couple days, and there's a number of reasons, and I wanted to go over those. Before I do that, shout out to Jeff. I'm so sorry I didn't shout out for you for the Pan deck. If you're watching this, I'm so sorry, my man. But another great player from my locals, and just cool guy in general. So yeah. Anyway, Demigra. Oh, he also played that deck. He also helped with building that deck. That's why I wanted to shout him out. Anyway, Demigra. So okay, so let's go over the card real quick. He was again a secret rare for Colossal Warfare in tandem with the Goku Jr. And basically this was designed for Demigra, right? For the Demigra leader. He requires a Dark Overrealm 7 black cards in your Overrealm, and you pay 5 energy. And then his auto says when you attack with this card, your opponent reveals their hand, choose up to 4 battle cards from it, and then combo with them in the combo area. So this is a really good card. Like the only thing that that really kind of stops this is Cold Bloodlust and as well as Crusher Ball. But because you want a lot more cards in the drop area for black, you're most likely going to be using Mighty's Clearly Zone as well. This doesn't stop, or counters does not stop this attack as well. A lot of, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but the common misconception with this is that a counter does stop the auto and as well as a combo. But just like any auto, it has to resolve as long as it's able to. Even with Mafuba, the auto goes into pending before the attack, and when he attacks, he gets countered, Mafuba, whatever, the auto resolves right after that, and then they still get to reveal their hand, or you have to have them reveal their hand, and then choose 4 battle cards from it. So it doesn't matter if the battle is over, the battle kind of commences with the auto. So what happens is that he still choose up to 4 battle cards. The game is like, oh wait, you're not in battle, I'm just gonna go ahead and go into the drop, and then that's basically what happens. So you can strip 3, 4, 2 super combos, whatever, or an important piece. It does not matter because it doesn't have an actual limit to the cost. So in general, Demigra was really good, right? The reason why he dropped in price is because again, we're very much in a very linear, very cylinder-like sort of way when thinking about certain cards, right? I get to that point too. That's why I didn't make the right meta call for the last regional, right? I sort of like didn't really adjust. And when you start thinking about these cards and different cards in tandem with others, you have to kind of open your mind and be creative with it. The thing about this card is that since it did require 7 black cards, again, it was designed for Demigra. People were thinking like, hey, this is just for Demigra. Most likely no people are going to be not many people are going to be using this card because it requires so many black cards. So you would have to combo a lot of like Overrealm cards, and that's kind of redundant because Overrealm really needs the drop area to be Overrealm to dwarf, and that kind of defeats the whole purpose of Demigra. You can't, unless you recycle it with Gravy or the Demigra leader. That's really the only way. And since no one's playing Demigra, there's no point in playing this card. But with the release of World Tournament, people started realizing, or at least before, started realizing that the announcer cards were black, right? Cronoa was black, Mighty's Clearly Zone was black, and you can play those in any deck, at least with the World Tournament cards, into the World Tournament leaders, basically, or with the World Tournament leaders. And right now, that's pretty much the best thing. Hercule just took Atlantic City, as I understand. If you haven't checked that video out, I believe Pat O'Neill. I can't, it's like Zooms, whatever, dude. Like, okay, your YouTube name, I can't say it right now, all right? I'll go look at it again. But if you haven't checked that out, go check out that video. It's pretty good. They break it down, and they seem like they had a really good understanding of like what to expect and how to counter different things, and it looked like a really well made deck. And that's why you saw a lot of Hercule players, especially the Shenron layer players, playing Hercule. And because of that, Demigra was kind of like the trump card, especially in mirrors. And I can see that because when you swing with this man, other than Mafuba, maybe even Crusher Ball and Battering, because some of them didn't run those kind of variants, it made sense to use this in the mirror, swinging and then taking away their battle cards, basically. And that way they can't actually combo, and it makes a lot of sense to defeat Hercule in that way. But even before then, if you've been watching my videos for a while, if you've been checking out previous videos, if you've checked out Jackie Joel, the Jackie Joel deck, as I like to call it, we did talk about the price and to pick it up beforehand. And not even because of that deck, but because of other things too.
You could even determine if you can just go for game with your other cards. So he's amazing. With minus Kelly Zone, he's super strong. Yeah, get this guy now before he goes up.
I agree. And of course, here is the deck, getting right back to it. Again, we have 12, or actually 14 in this. I run 12, just the regular ones. I'll probably have to find some room for Minus Killy Zone. But for his deck is pretty much mono blue, and making use of all these cards and the draw power and everything else like that, and using Demigra right after. So that's really good. And of course, if you haven't picked it up beforehand, I personally picked it up for 30 bucks, and now it's almost 70 bucks with not very many choices when it comes down to it. So, I mean, if you haven't picked it up, well, you might be paying a premium. Now, when we think about the other reason, it's gonna be Shenron. And we now have a Shenron leader for pretty much every single color going into set 5. If I had to rank it, I'm gonna do a separate video for this anyway, but if I had to rank the Shenron leaders right now, it's probably going to be Frieza #1, Dragon Balls, or Shenron basically #2. Most likely Gohan 3, the Pilaf 4, and then the green one 5. But with every single one of these decks, they're capable or have access to Demigra pretty easily, because 7 Dragon Balls have to be in your drop area for the actual wish to work, or the awakened side wish to work. So you get the 7 draws. Obviously, you're playing a 43 card deck basically, and as soon as you do that, you're active, or you're ready to use Demigra. And the only issue is that to get to 5 energy, and that's not too much of an issue nowadays, even against 1-2 swap or aggro decks. There's a lot of answers to that, and with the real if you haven't seen them already, every single Shenron's lair, come on, deadly. If you haven't seen them already, every single color has a deadly defender card. So if you didn't know, again, they have barrier, and if your leader card is X or Y, this card, and in this card is in rest mode, the opponent cannot attack their leader card, and it gets negative 5,000 power. Just say it loses. I don't know what you're doing, bud. I don't know what you're doing, Bandai. Anyway, so with that, and in tandem with the Dragon Balls, it's going to be pretty easy to get to 5, and Demigra himself is going to be a card to get and card to use. So that is the main reason, or the 2 main reasons. One, World Tournament now can utilize Demigra in a pretty easy way, and is a good counter against Hercule. And then going into set 5, Shenron is going to be a real threat, honestly. Like, if you haven't been testing it, if you haven't been on Untap or Octagon, or if you haven't been doing proxies, if you haven't been lucky enough, at least I haven't been, to use the starter decks and test them out, it's gonna be the next issue. If I had to say it pretty bluntly, like Super Saiyan 3 was the first issue. Well, okay, let's back it up. Mega Frieza was the first issue. Shigesh was the next one. Super Saiyan 3 was the next one, and then now Shenron and the Shenron leaders are probably going to be the next issue. And I don't think. Let me just back it up. Well, okay, Goten was the other issue. Let me just put it that way with Huragan, because to me that's still an issue to me. But anyway, the other thing is that the next issue is most likely going to be the Shenron leaders, or Shenron in general. I'm glad that they errated triple flash in order to not get triple critted with the no negates, and 40-something thousand attack. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm glad that they took care of that, but we still have other issues, and we still have other combos. I'm very happy that we have a mill leader, by the way. I can't say that enough. And I think that's going to be the next issue. And I know there's going to be some answers. I know people are going to be creative with it. I know it's going to be a little exaggerated as far as an issue goes. I don't think it's going to be a bigger issue as everything else, but we will see. And we will, like I said, most likely people who are better than me will come up with the decks, and will either prove me wrong or prove me right. And it's gonna be fun stuff. I think the Shenron leaders are goddamn good. Dragon Ball and as well, Shenron and as well as Sorbet are really good. It's gonna be interesting to see Demigra just kind of running around as a secret rare in random decks like that. So again, if you haven't picked it up, again, you'll be paying a premium. Hopefully you won't be paying a premium, and hopefully you listened to us in our last video and picked it up beforehand. But if not, well, it's okay. I mean, you can buy it. You don't have to buy it. You still have to use 5 energy. It's still a lot. So that's just how I see it. Also, oh, by the way, I forgot to say, another reason is because we are going to be getting a lot of different 1-drop black cards as well. So like the Dragon Ball Seeker Bulma, and just remember, okay, so let me back it up a little bit. So Kami, Dende, which is the counter to SS3, no matter what, even if SS3, and which I still believe SS3 should be banned, right? I still think he should stay banned. But when he does get back to where he needs to be, he's going to be very level setted with Dende being sideboarded in against a lot of different or again with a lot of different leaders. So that's another thing. We do have Time's Judgment and Power Burst, as well as Dragon Radar and 1-star ball and 2-star ball. So these 2 cards right here, well, actually this card right here is good for any deck if you're trying to run, like, literally you can run 7 of these things if you really wanted to. I personally don't believe you should. They put it at a 1 cost for a reason, not only because both of these cards you neg 1 and you draw 1, and for this one you KO or 2 or less. There's a lot of reasons why they put this to 1 instead of 0 cost. Like, it would be way too powerful and way too busted as far as that goes. But we still have Power Burst and Time's Judgment as far as these things go. Beforehand, like, Time's Judgment wasn't the best counter, but if you're trying to splash black, it's not a bad idea. And then Seasoning Arrows for Demigra. This was for Mira. But now again, other than the World Tournament cards, everybody now has access to Dark Power, Kami, and Dende, and you can do this if you like to, and then splash the other Dragon Ball. It's really not a bad idea. Like, these things, like, I'm really starting to like the design. The design. What should we call it? The design. What am I saying? Timeline? No. Points. What? Who? Help me out here. Chat. Can we get a L? Can we get an F in the chat? Direction. There you go. Design direction as far as this game goes, and I'm very excited to see what people come up with set 5. We have a theme booster in January. Set 6 is probably going to be coming in February or March. And the only thing that's confirmed is that the next theme booster. Everything else is just a guess for me. And then we're probably going to be seeing Dragon Ball Super as a show next year. And I'm very excited. Like, a lot of people were very. I know I'm going off the tangent now, but a lot of people were saying, like, oh, should I quit the game? Should I sell out? Whatever. I don't think so. I've said it before, and I will always say it. I will quit this game when the game quits itself. When it's over, or unless I have like a whole like emergency issue and I'm like in a hospital or something like that. That's the only time I'm gonna be quitting the game. Until then, I'll be playing casually and competitively whenever I can. Yeah, and that's it. I will see you in the next one. Like, dislike, let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll see you in the next one. Later.